Hi all, this is Miss Marcel and I am your student's art teacher. So we just started this week with trimester 2 and what I do is a weekly vlog. So I videotape myself weekly explaining the projects that we're doing so you can see what the students are doing in the art room. And then if you have any questions, you can email me. So with it being the first of the trimester, we had a lot of syllabus talk the last couple of days. So those should be going home and there's information about the class and I'll show you what they look like. So typically with these videos, I start with my first period and then I just work my way through the day. So first period is advanced art and they are in the middle of their Kennedy Wiley self-portraits. And so students are learning about tonal range and painting their skin tones. We also, with Kennedy Wiley, are looking at pattern backgrounds and incorporating how the pattern background incorporates into our portrait. So there needs to be some sort of overlapping where the background then encompasses the portrait itself. The other part that we were studying is complementary colors. So we're going over color schemes, and with complementary colors, students are selecting that for their background. So we have blue and orange here going. We also have lovely background coming over. So there's a few different layers to this project and it's taking us a few weeks to get through. Tomorrow they should be adding details of their hair, eye features, mouths and things like that. And then the next class for second period is creating like the masters. This class is for 8th graders and they are then learning about various artists. So they have their syllabus that should have went home. On the back is the Welcome to Art survey that gives me some feedback about each student. So the top part they fill out and the lower half a parent or guardian fills out. So this has that information. Each student yesterday received a Creating Like the Masters packet. This will guide us through for each artist that we study. So yesterday we dived right in and we started off with Jasper Johns. And so we go through a PowerPoint, watch some videos, we fill out this worksheet, putting in the artworks that he has completed, a timeline, what art movements he's connected to, and what materials he used. Then from there, they learned about their project and they are doing Jasper Johns inspired name tags. And so he used a lot of stencil for his projects. And so they're learning about how to draw stencil lettering. And then they're going to use primary colors to go ahead and paint their name tags, adding black oil pastels and white paint as highlights as well. So they will be actually starting their finals tomorrow and working on them throughout this week. Then we move on to 6th grade art. And 6th grade art is 3rd and 4th period. They also had syllabus that went home with the Welcome to Art survey on the back. We started just a warm-up project of us drawing some shapes and lines on papers, and then I recollected them and redistributed them out to students. And they were to then come up with a art piece with that line and shape and try to incorporate it in some way. We'll continue to work on these as our warm-up this week, along with our name tag project. But this allowed us to start to talk about mistakes in art and how it's a safe place in the art room to make mistakes and how to go through that process of making a mistake. Do you throw your paper away? Do you erase it? Do you flip your paper over? Can you make it into something new? Can you cover it up with another material? To really brainstorm of how to problem solve and how to make that mistake not the end-all be-all and the roadblock of not being able to create something, but to work through that entire process. And so then name tags, we just touched base on like what we were doing for our name tag. It was very brief. And so today we're going to dive further in. We talked about typography and where did fonts and lettering come from. And we watched a video about the history of typography. And so students are going to start creating their own typography. They'll have a project planner where they will lay out what the expectations are for the project. What are they expected to make? What are their parameters? Here's where they'll test out colors. Below here is where they're going to list out words that start with the same letters in their name of pictures that they could incorporate into their text. On the back is where they're going to be sketching. So they are going to be creating lettering that's going to have imagery. Since we're in art, we're going to be practicing drawing some simple images. And how do we make a name tag that has more than just our letters? And then they'll be eventually getting a final paper, learning about centering and how do we find the middle of the paper, and working our way across our paper of evenly spacing our letters, and then drawing out our images and coloring them with colored pencils. And then the afternoon I have creating comics class, which is a new class here at Liberty for 7th graders. And so again, we talked about the syllabus. This should have gone home. It has information about the class. And again, the Welcome to Art survey on the back. And then we started talking about the artist Roy Lichtenstein. We had a worksheet here that we did, giving us a little rundown of who Roy Lichtenstein was, background information, talked about primary colors for him. And he is a big comic book painter. And so he would paint these giant paintings that were done in a comic style. And so they're going to be doing their name in either the explosion, thought bubble, or speech bubble way. And he also just used primary colors plus black and white. So students will be then transferring their idea onto final paper. We'll use tempera paint to paint. And the other part was we learned about is Ben-Day dots, and he used a lot of Ben-Day dots in his work. And so somewhere they're gonna need to incorporate that into their art piece. This one does not have Ben-Day dots yet because I'm gonna use it as the example to show them how to do Ben-Day dots using a Q-tip, or even just the back of a pencil eraser, dipping it in the paint and creating the dots in their design. This will also all get outlined with either black paint or black marker. It's been a good week so far. Students have been settling in. They seem like they transitioned really well to the new trimester. And so I'm excited with this new group. I'll have them for 3 weeks, and then we'll have winter break. And then we'll go on for more weeks after that. So if you have any questions, you can use the response part on my website, or you can email me directly at erin.marcel@camus.wednet.edu. All right. Thank you. Have a lovely week.